IELTS Speaking Part 1, Sports Programs. Question 1. Do you like watching sports programs on TV? Model answer. Band 6 answer. Yes, I sometimes watch sports programs on TV, especially when there is a big game like soccer. It helps me relax. Band 7 answer. Yes, I enjoy watching sports programs on TV, particularly soccer and baseball. They are very popular in Japan, and I usually watch them when there is a national or international tournament. For me, it's a good way to release stress and also to cheer for my favorite teams. Band 8 answer. I definitely like watching sports programs, especially soccer and baseball because they are a big part of Japanese sports culture. For example, when Japan plays in the World Cup, many people gather to watch the game together, and it creates a very exciting atmosphere. Personally, I feel that sports programs on TV not only entertain me but also give me a sense of unity with others in society. Question 2. Do you like to watch live sports games? Model answer. Band 6 answer. Yes, I like watching live games. They are more exciting than TV because I can feel the atmosphere. Band 7 answer. Yes, I really enjoy live sports. When I go to the stadium to watch baseball or soccer, the cheering and atmosphere make the experience much more exciting than watching at home. Even if my team loses, I still feel it was worth it because the energy is special. Band 8 answer. I absolutely prefer watching live games, because the atmosphere in the stadium is something TV cannot capture. For example, I once watched a professional baseball game in Tokyo Dome, and the energy of thousands of fans cheering together was unforgettable. Also, watching live games allows me to share emotions directly with other supporters, which creates a stronger connection with the sport. Question 3. Who do you like to watch sports games with? Model answer. Band 6 answer. I usually watch sports with my friends. It is more fun than watching alone. Band 7 answer. I prefer to watch sports games with my close friends or family members. For example, I often watch soccer matches with my friends because we can talk about the game and celebrate together. It's also nice to share snacks or drinks, which makes the experience more enjoyable. Band 8 answer. I like to watch sports with both my friends and family, depending on the type of game. For instance, my father and I often watch baseball together, because it's his favorite sport, and we can discuss the players and strategies. On the other hand, I watch soccer with friends, especially international matches, because the atmosphere is louder and more energetic. I think watching sports with others strengthens relationships and makes the game more memorable. Question 4. What kinds of games do you expect to watch in the future? Model answer. Band 6 answer. In the future, I want to watch more soccer games, especially the World Cup. It's very exciting. Band 7 answer. I hope to watch more international games in the future, such as the World Cup or the Olympics. These events are not only about sports but also about culture, because people from different countries come together. Watching such games would be a special experience. Band 8 answer. In the future, I'd like to watch more global sports events, such as the World Cup, the Olympics, or even international baseball tournaments. These games are special because they bring together people from all around the world. For example, when Tokyo hosted the Olympics in 2021, many Japanese people felt proud to see athletes competing in our country. Watching such events in the future would allow me to feel both the excitement of sports and the cultural exchange behind them. IELTS Speaking Part 2. The desired change to your local area. Describe a change that could improve your local area. You should say what the change would be, how this change could be made, what problems are causing the need for this change, and explain how this change would improve your local area. You have 1 minute to talk. You have 2 minutes to talk. Model answer. Band 6 answer. One change that could improve my local area would be building more parks and green spaces. Right now, there are only a few small parks, and they are usually crowded, especially on weekends. This change could be made if the local government used empty land more effectively. I think the reason we need this change is that many people in my city live in apartments and don't have private gardens. Having more parks would make the area more enjoyable, because people could relax, do exercise, and children would have safe places to play. Also, I think more parks would make the city look nicer. At the moment, there are too many tall buildings, and the area looks a little gray and boring. Green areas would make people feel happier and give the city a more welcoming atmosphere. Band 7 answer. One important change that I think would improve my local area is creating more public parks and open spaces. At the moment, there are not enough places where people can spend time outdoors. The parks we have are often too small and full of people, which makes it difficult to really relax. This change could be made if the city government decided to turn some unused land or even old parking lots into green areas. I believe the need for this change comes from the fact that our community is becoming more crowded. Families with children, as well as elderly people, often struggle to find quiet and safe places to spend their free time. If we had more green areas, I think it would improve the quality of life in many ways. For example, children would have safe playgrounds, adults could exercise outdoors, and elderly people would have peaceful spaces to meet friends. It would also make the air fresher and reduce stress for many residents. Another reason this change is important is that green spaces encourage community interaction. When people gather in parks, they often meet neighbors and form closer relationships. This can make the local area feel more connected, and create a stronger sense of community, which is often missing in busy cities. Band 8 answer. If I could suggest one meaningful change to improve my local area, it would be to increase the number of public parks and well-designed green spaces. At present, the city mainly focuses on new buildings and commercial centers, but it sometimes forgets the importance of natural spaces for local residents. The parks we do have are too small and crowded, and that makes it hard for people to use them comfortably. This change could realistically be made if the local government decided to convert unused land, like abandoned industrial areas or old car parks, into public parks. There could also be cooperation with local businesses to sponsor the maintenance of these areas. The main problem that causes the need for this change is rapid urban development. In cities like Tokyo or Osaka, people often live in small apartments, and they don't have private gardens, so public green spaces become essential. The benefits of such a change would be significant. For instance, more green areas could encourage people to exercise regularly, which would improve public health. They would also provide children with safe places to play, which is especially important in big cities. On a larger scale, parks could also help reduce air pollution and noise, making the whole community feel more livable. Personally, I believe this change would make my local area not only more beautiful but also more balanced, because it would combine modern urban life with the natural environment that people really need. Finally, I think this change could even boost tourism and the local economy. If the area becomes greener and more attractive, it could draw visitors, cafes, and cultural events into the community. In this way, the improvement would not only make residents happier but also make the local area more prosperous and sustainable in the long run. IELTS Speaking Part 3. The desired change to your local area. Question 1. Why do old people not like changes? Model answer. Band 6 answer. I think old people don't like changes because they are already used to their daily habits. For example, they may like to go to the same shop or use the same kind of phone. Change can feel difficult for them because they are not used to new things, so they prefer to keep life simple and familiar. Band 7 answer. In my view, many elderly people dislike changes because they have lived in a stable way for many years, and new things can make them feel uncomfortable. For example, when new technology like smartphones or online banking comes out, they may find it hard to adapt. Also, changes often require learning new skills, and older people may not have the patience or energy to do that. This is why they prefer routines that feel safe. Band 8 answer. I believe older people often resist change because it challenges the sense of security they build over a lifetime. After many years of following the same routines, even small changes, like moving to a new neighborhood or switching to digital technology, can feel overwhelming. Psychological research also shows that people naturally become less flexible as they age. Of course, there are exceptions, and some older individuals actively embrace change to stay connected with younger generations. However, generally speaking, their dislike of change is less about stubbornness and more about wanting stability and control in their lives. Question 2. Do you think it's important for people to socialize with their neighbors? Model answer. Band 6 answer. Yes, I think it's important to socialize with neighbors. If you know your neighbors, you can help each other in daily life. For example, if you need someone to look after your pet or water your plants, neighbors can do that. It also makes the area feel safer and friendlier. Band 7 answer. I believe socializing with neighbors is quite important, because it helps to build trust and cooperation in the community. For example, in Japan, neighbors often join local festivals or cleaning activities together, and this creates a stronger sense of belonging. If people don't talk to their neighbors, they may feel isolated, even though they live close to others. Having good relationships with neighbors makes life more enjoyable and secure. Band 8 answer. In my opinion, socializing with neighbors is essential for both personal well-being and community development. On a personal level, having friendly neighbors means people can rely on each other in times of need, such as during emergencies or natural disasters. On a larger scale, when neighbors communicate regularly, they can organize events, improve safety in the area, and even influence local policies. For instance, neighborhood associations in Japanese cities often collaborate to maintain parks, plan seasonal festivals, and watch out for crime. This shows that neighborly relationships are not just about being polite, they also play a key role in strengthening social ties and building a more resilient society. Question 3. How do people socialize with their neighbors? Model answer. Band 6 answer. People usually socialize with neighbors by greeting them when they meet, or by talking a little when they see each other outside. Sometimes neighbors also share food or small gifts, which makes the relationship warmer. Band 7 answer. In my opinion, there are many ways people socialize with neighbors. For example, in Japan, people often give small presents, like sweets, when they move into a new house. They may also join local community events, such as summer festivals or neighborhood meetings. These activities help people to communicate and build stronger connections with the people living around them. Band 8 answer. People socialize with their neighbors in both traditional and modern ways. Traditionally, they might exchange homemade food, join local festivals, or take part in community cleaning events, which are quite common in Japanese towns. Nowadays, neighbors may also use technology, like creating LINE chat groups, to share information about safety or upcoming events. These interactions, whether face-to-face or online, are important because they help create trust and cooperation. Personally, I think the combination of traditional customs and digital communication allows neighbors to maintain stronger and more efficient relationships in modern society.
Congrats on making it to the end of this video, and kudos to you if you did all that practice. You are amazing. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. And you can also add my official LINE account that's in the profile. And if you do this, then I can send you a free phrases guide that you can use for your practice. All right, happy studying. See ya.